everybody. Can you hear me? We're good? Welcome. Welcome to the Town of Warren's special town meeting. It's June 12th, 2025 at 6:30. I have been informed by the town clerk that the warrant has been duly posted and returned. We have met the quorum requirements, so we can conduct the town's business for the special town meeting. We're going to dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance until the annual town meeting. One change for this year, I met with the town clerk about 6 weeks ago to discuss motions. We're going to try something new this year where the moderator reads all the motions. This is in hopes of expediting the meeting a little bit more clarity. People can probably hear me much better. So I will make the motion. I'll wait for it to be seconded. We'll open up for discussion and we'll move from there. This is something that other towns do, and Lori brought it to me and asked if we would try it this year. So we're going to try it for the special and annual and see how it goes. And hopefully everybody can get all the information from me that they require. So it's a lot of speaking and reading from me tonight. So bear with me. If you can't hear me, please let me know. If you need me to slow down, please ask me to slow down. If you need me to repeat myself, please let me know. So with that, I'm going to move to the first article, which is sponsored by the Parks and Recreation Department. And the motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $9,271.14 to fund the fireworks organized by the Parks and Recreation Department for fiscal year 2025. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion regarding this motion? Seeing none. Real quickly, everybody, I did forget to tell you, everybody should have received their clicker for voting. So when I ask the town clerk to open up the vote, you'll have roughly about 15 seconds to cast your vote. I will announce 5 seconds, and then I'll ask the town clerk to close the vote. Yes, Mrs. Ramsey.
I just wanted to explain, this money we're asking for is because we asked to have the money encumbered when we didn't have the fireworks last year. And it inadvertently, not by the Parks Department, but somewhere beyond us, did not get encumbered, even though we had requested that. So that we just want to put it back in so we can pay for the fireworks.
Right. Anyone else? Seeing none, open the vote, please. Five seconds. Close the vote. Motion carries. Article 2 is sponsored by the Board of Selectmen. I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $5,336.10 to pay for a prior fiscal year's bill from Van Pool for transportation costs associated with an out-of-district student. Lori? So moved? Anybody? Do I have a second? Motion and a second. Is there any discussion regarding this article? It is a 9/10 vote. No discussion, seeing none, so we're going to move to a vote. Lori, open the vote, please. Oh, you ready? Open the vote, please. We're open? Gotcha. 5 seconds. Close the vote, please. That failed. That did not pass. Article 3 is sponsored by the Board of Selectmen. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from legal expense the sum of $3,000 to the Selectmen's Secretary salary line to pay for the hiring of a new executive assistant to the Board of Selectmen and Town Administrator so that this person can start in the position in June. Lori? Do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this article? Seeing none? You ready? Open the vote. Yes, Lori, you're on 4. You ready? It's open. Open the vote. 5 seconds. Close the vote. 42-36, oh, pass. Motion passes. Article 4, sponsored by the Board of Selectmen. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from legal expense the sum of $3,680.61 to pay for the town's annual website hosting fee from Civics Plus. Lori? Do I have a second? Motion's been made and second. I'm sorry. Is there any discussion regarding this article? Seeing none, Laura, are you ready? Open the vote, please. Five seconds. Close the vote. Motion passes. Article 5 is sponsored by the Board of Selectmen. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to reduce the fiscal year 2025 Quabog Regional School District's assessment by $139,917.99 for the fiscal year 2024 state aid transportation excess reimbursement in accordance with the vote of June 13, 2024's annual town meeting. So moved. Do I have a second? Any discussion regarding this article? Seeing none. Laura, are you ready? Open the vote, please. Five seconds. Close the vote. Motion passes. Article 6, sponsored by the Highway Surveyor. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $35,585.51 to fund the snow and ice deficit. Thank you. Second? I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion regarding this article? Seeing none. Laura, are you ready? Open the vote, please. 5 seconds. Close the vote. The motion passes. Article 7, sponsored by the Fire Department. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $5,000 to assist in the funding of the Advanced Life Support Line within the fiscal year 2025 budget item. So moved. Do I have a second? I heard a second. Any discussion regarding this article? Seeing none. Laura, are you ready? Open the vote, please. Five seconds. Close the vote. Motion passes. Article 8, sponsored by the Fire Department also. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $8,000 to purchase 2 sets of turnout gear, helmets, and boots for 2 new members of the Fire Department. Thank you. Second? Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this motion? Article. Seeing none. Laura, you ready? Open the vote. Five seconds. Close the vote, please. The motion passes. Article 9, sponsored by the Fire Department. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $3,000 to the Fire Department's Health and Wellness line to fund 2 physical drug screenings for 2 new on-call members of the Fire Department. Thank you. Second? Motion and a second. Is there any discussion regarding this article? Seeing none. You ready, Lori? Open the vote, please. 5 seconds. Close the vote. The motion passes. Article 10, sponsored by the Board of Sewer Commissioners. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from the sewer retained earnings the sum of $44,500 to pay for a copper compliance reduction study from Ty and Bond. So moved. Do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this motion, this article, excuse me? Seeing none. Lori, you ready? Open the vote, please. Five seconds. Close the vote. Motion passes. Article 11 is sponsored by the Senior Center Director. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from the custodial/van driver line the sum of $1,000 to the general helper line to cover a shortfall due to additional hours worked by the general helper. Do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Lori, open the vote. It's open. 5 seconds. Close the vote. Motion passes. Article 12, sponsored by the Senior Center Director. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from the custodial/van driver line the sum of $4,000 to the Council on Aging expense line to cover a shortfall due to a few unexpected expenses. Second? Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this article? Yes, ma'am. If you can come to the mic, please.
What are the unexpected expenses that they're talking about?
Mrs. Melly's coming. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Shara Melly, the Senior Center Director. We had a few unexpected expenses, one of which was our monitor system for our fire alarms. We had to change that over to the cell service. That cost us a little money. We had a higher electrical cost for our heating system, which was only running at about 70%. So we had to put electrical heaters in, so our electric bill has been really high. A few other things. Some of our fire suppression system, the expenses there were higher. We had a settling tank we had to replace, which is every 12 years. Now we know it's every 12 years. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. Laura, you ready? Open the vote, please. Five seconds. Close the vote. Motion passes. Article 13, sponsored by the Cemetery Commission. The motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $1,500 from free cash to the sale of cemetery lots receipts reserved for appropriation fund. Do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this article? Seeing none. Laura, you ready? Open the vote, please. Five seconds. Close the vote. Motion passes. That concludes the business for the special town meeting. We're going to recess until 7 to pick up with the annual town meeting. I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Hello?
I'm sorry.
Mr. Moderator, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider Article 2, the past due bill.
I have a motion to reconsider Article 2. Do I have a second? A motion's been made and seconded. So this will bring back the original motion back up to vote on Article 2, which, and I'm going to read the original motion. Is that fine? Yeah. I'm going to read the original motion before we take this back up for another vote, because it's been, actually, I need to take a roll call on the motion in a second, correct? To reconsider? Yeah, to reconsider, yeah. So prior to this, we have a motion in a second. I need to take a vote, just a simple nay and yay to reconsider this article. So all those in favor of reconsidering Article 2, in favor? Yay. Opposed? No. Passes. So we're now going to take up motion Article 2 again. I'm going to reread the motion, and then we'll call for a vote. This is a 9/10 vote because it is a prior year's bill. So the motion reads as follows. I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $5,336.10 to pay a prior fiscal year bill from Vanpool for transportation costs associated with an out-of-district student. Lori? Do I have a second? Motion's made and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this? This is a 9/10, it's a prior year's bill.
Mr. Moderator?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Can I make a motion that we hear from the town administrator?
Got to recognize you first. So prior to hearing from the town administrator, I'm just going to ask for a simple roll call vote to recognize the town administrator because he's not a resident. All those in favor allowing Mr. James Ferrer, the town administrator, to speak and address the town, signify by saying aye. Opposed? No. Good. You're up, sir. I'll get you next, Jerry.
Good evening, everybody, and it's good to see everybody this evening. Before you this evening, Article 2 is an important bill that needs to get paid. It was a bill that was mistakenly sent to the wrong email account. We didn't receive it. We need to pay it. It's for an out-of-district student that goes to Smith Vocational, and it's for van pooling that needs to be paid for the town. So I hope the town can understand that, and we can get this paid.
Thank you. So, again, it is a 9/10. Is there anybody else that has any questions regarding this? Seeing none. Okay, Laura, you ready? So we're going to take this up again. Open the vote, please. Five seconds. Close the vote. No? No, does not pass. The motion does not pass. Failed 2 times. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the business for the special. We'll recess until 7 p.m. when we pick up for the annual town meeting. Okay, thank you.